So now the question is, what is agentic versus Gen AI? So there's a lot of banners around here that say the word agentic AI or generative AI or AI powered or AI enabled. Is it all marketing hype? Does it mean anything? I can't speak for other vendors. For us, it does. But what I can talk about is conceptually what is an AI agent. And so just to break it up into two different clusters, on the left, we have generative AI, which is the concept of reactive generation. So you have a prompt that you input, you go to ChatGPT and you say, make me a cookie recipe, and it will write something for you. It generates generative. And that can be anything from text to images, to code, to music even. And on the right side, we have agentic. So what is actually the difference? What does agentic mean? Well, the main difference is that instead of a prompt to generation, it's a prompt to action. And what's interesting about agentic AI as a concept is that it's a bit more of an iterative process, right? So first, it's perceiving, it's deciding, it's executing, and then it's learning, and then repeating that process. It's not a reactive, but a proactive system that starts with a prompt, but it can actually execute a life cycle without human interaction at each step. Versus on the reactive side, Gen AI, it's just a giant pattern matching machine that's learned from an enormous data set, and it predicts what should come next as the generative output, just like the language models, but again, much, much bigger. And then there is one common foundation between these things, which is LLMs. So LLMs, large language models, was the one of the core technologies or advances in performance that powers both of these. And they have different roles in each. So going through a few examples of generative AI, we have human interaction with machine. That's, I think, the general mode that we see here. The person puts in the prompt, they review, they refine, they direct. You're sort of, I mean, who here has had the experience where they feel that they're kind of like partnering with ChatGPT to get something done? You have to give it feedback and you iterate with it. On the right side and on the left side, really that requires the skill of working with technology and tools in order to achieve a task. On the right side, agentic AI is a little bit different. And there's a whole spectrum of these things, from an RPA-like system, just like a wind-up car, and you set it and forget it and let it go, all the way to a very advanced chain of thought reasoning system, which will actually take a goal, break it down into a set of logical steps, have an internal dialogue. An example might be, organizing ISM. If you put it in the prompt to an agentic system, a really good one, hey, I need you to organize a conference like ISM, it'll first start by saying, okay, what are the tasks that I need to accomplish? Let me understand the conference requirements, research the available venues, check the availability, invite speakers, sell tickets, and potentially execute on those things if it has the arms and legs to connect to other systems. So working with agentic AI is kind of a different skill set than generative AI. Generative AI is about partnering with tools. You can think about it a little bit like you have like an army of interns. And then agentic AI, it's much more about the systems and IT level thinking, designing a process that an agent can actually go and execute. So what are the different ways that AI can be used in applications? Non-deterministic tasks, you like generation. There's deterministic tasks, which are things that you want traditional code execution. And then in between, there's agents. I will go one step further. There are, I'm again, this is not standard taxonomy because there is no standard taxonomy. A year ago, I gave a talk on LLMs. Within 6 months, everything I said was completely outdated. I'm giving this talk right now, and the caveat is that in another 6 months, this will change a lot, And so just take this with a huge grain of salt. So there's sort of roughly two classes of agents when I think about workflows in the procurement world. One is an agentic workflow, and the other is an AI agent. There's a subtle difference between these. An agentic workflow is a workflow that happens to have some agentic elements in it, but it's mostly linear and it's mostly deterministic. So you can think about LLM analysis for data extraction, human in the loop review, and then some kind of processing. And the AI agent side, like the true agent side, you have an agent that's then tasked with completing some kind of objective goal with a finishing criteria. It knows when it should be done.